Hey guys, Gon here. So a lot of people have been asking me to build an LR tier list, what priority you should do, and I decided I will do that for you guys. I just want to start off with the premise that I know that Milim and Rimuru are not obtainable LRs, but I also know that if I didn't include Milim and Rimuru on here, people would be like, well, you didn't include Milim and Rimuru in their LR units. So I will definitely include them on here just for that purpose. Obviously, I know they're not attainable, but they are LR units, so I will include them on this team list. By the way, if you like this team builder, I'm going to include the link in my description. I build this and I maintain it. It has all of the units on it. It has the Graces on it. It has Guild Wars buffs on it. It's really cool to use because you can build your teams and you can show people what teams are. So I'll include that in the description. I always update it with new units. If I fall behind, it's just usually one unit, and then all I need someone to do is to DM me and be like, hey, you didn't include it. I'm kind of OCD, so I kind of sorted it in alphabetical order, and I sorted it by the race. So not race. I sorted it by the attributes. So you'll see it's always red, green, blue when possible. Yeah, I know, a little neurotic. All right, so the absolute most important LR unit in the game, no matter who you are, whether you be a whale or a free to play, is LR Liz. She is the best LR unit. She makes farming in the game so much easier. There is not a PvE unit that is better than her. She does have niche uses in PvP. She used to be a good backline unit for some teams, but just her overall usage is really, really strong, and she's been great for so much content. The only problem that I have with her is the fact that Netmarble knows how broken they made her, and now they have decided that they are going to... A lot of these new bosses have passives on them that specifically say Goddess can't be used, and it's because of her. She makes every content a breeze. The next one is going to be Milim. Again, she's not obtainable, but Milim is just broken. She's probably the most broken collab of all time. Maybe even more broken than Sun Jinwoo overall. They do different things. But the fact that she is still really good after all this time says something, and it shows that Milim is just one of the best units in the game. Next, I would probably say the best is Merlin. This Merlin has always been good, and then she got an upgraded LR form. She's really good for PvP. She's really good for PvE. Looking at you, Grey Demons, she literally just one-shots Grey Demons for free. Can't really get much better than her. She's just really, really, really strong. Really, really, really good. And I would highly recommend her if you don't have her just because of her usage. Not only that, she has damage cap on her, so she's very, very tanky for that purpose. And if you put Charmail on her, it's going to take a lot to kill her. Next, I would probably say is going to be LR Brunhild. She's not as popular in PvP, but she is really, really good unit. She hits like a truck, and her weak point hits like a truck. Always been a good unit. Passive broken. Really, really broken in Guild Wars. If you need to farm a team, she can be put on any farming team and she'll almost one-shot everything. She's just a really good overall unit, and I think that she is probably one of the best units in the game if you just want like farming-wise and PvP and PvE. Next, I would probably say we have, in terms of usage, I would either say Helbram or Diane. I'm trying to think, like, you don't really see... Okay, Helbram is more usable right now because Helbram is in PvP. Helbram is a really good support for fairies. I know people are going to say, well, beta is better, and you're right, beta is better if you have a 6/6 beta, and if you have beta, but a lot of people don't have beta built out. Helbram is a lot more accessible. He's an old unit. Many people probably already had him. And if you watched my one video that I had with him, When he comes out, he's actually pretty good. The fact that he petrifies a unit and then makes a unit useless, combined with the fact that you're also running Diana King, who also can petrify, you can petrify the entire field, and your opponent says, "What do I do?" Um, I also see him having usage in other situations. His 20% basic stat buff to fairies is good. So for that, I'm going to put Helbram as the fifth best. And then I would say the next best is going to be our LR Diane. You don't really see her in PvP anymore because Diane King kind of replaced her need to be in PvP. But she is a good unit. She's really good in PvE. Very tanky. After she takes a lot of damage, she ends up doing a ton of damage herself. If you get her ult off, she'll heal up your entire team. So overall, that's probably it for the SS must-have, most important ones. Next, I'll go to A tier, and I'll put Rimuru there. Rimuru is another unit, again, you can't really have. It's a really good unit. It's been good because of his passive. Good in a lot of different situations, especially when it was the Hell meta. You ran Rimuru to try to counter that. I know he's unobtainable, but he's still overall a pretty good unit, and that's why he is in the A tier. He's not as broken as all of these other ones, but he is definitely pretty up there for being broken. Alright, next I'm going to put the LR Bond, the green Bond. He does hit like a truck. He does have his usages where you can run him on human teams, and if you do pop him off, he is just pretty much a monster because he just takes the stats of everybody and he gets that himself. Not nearly as broken as he was, and humans have kind of fell out of the meta with there's other humans that are better, like Sun Jin Woo, Escanor. He could be usable on a Sins team in the future, but right now I would have him at an A tier. Next, I would probably say, and this will probably be the last of the A tiers, I would put LR Marg. Again, she's not bad for goddesses. Sario is better, but you can run Sario in the back line and have Marg in the front. Her big prop is that she just dies really fast, but she is a really good support. Her abilities have always been really, really good. She provides that really broken buff, and she has the ult that turns off the entire team. I'm also putting her here because she has a Grace. The Grace does have unique uses where it will give you more damage against people who have buffs. So I do think that the Grace is pretty good, and because she's an LR unit and broken stats, and she's a good link. So that's probably the last of the A units, which are good. They're not a rush, but if you do want them, I would have them. Next, I'll go into B, which ones I feel are B. And the two ones that I feel that are B units are King, the first. King, at first, was really, really hypey, and when he came out, you ran him, and he just one-shot anything with his Petrify. And then they, quote-unquote, bug-fixed him, so he wasn't doing nearly as much damage anymore. And then I feel that the King really kind of fell out of favor. The King's primary use right now is to be used on Endora Demon. If you do have the Endora Demon that is from the collab, where you're also running Alpha, Beta, and Lancelot. But he's kind of very niche, where he does have some usages where he can be good, and then he has some usages where he's not really that much needed. Especially now that we got Freyr. If you pulled for Freyr, Unknowns are better than the Fairy team for Endora. They do clear faster if you did. So he kind of lost a little bit of his viability there, and that's why he is in B tier. The next one, I'm going to put the Fairy duo. We have Gloxinia, the other king of the fairies. Glox kind of suffers from the fact that the other fairies that we have available are better, and his passive has just never been used. His niche use that I have him here for is Ratatasker. He was, for the longest time, one of the best units for Ratatasker. so that's why he's here. Um, there are rumors of some of these older units being buffed, especially the LRs, because they feel like they aren't good. Like I heard they would buff the Ludo. I heard they were going to buff the Gloxinia. So I do think that he is okay. You could make him work, especially on fairies. He's just not as good as everybody else. Alright, so now we're getting to the area where many of these are just trash. They're not needed or they're not good. I'm going to put the most usable out of all of these trash units is Zeldris. Zeldris had a little bit of time to shine in the meta. He does hit hard if he crits, but he just never really was that great. So for that, I'll put him in trash. Next, I'll put Eller Lilia. But so she is in a good unit, and in theory, she is really, really good for catastrophes. But the problem is, the catastrophes are just garbage units. You can make this unit as broken as possible, but she doesn't work with humans. She literally only works with catastrophes, and there are no catastrophes. So, like, on paper, she's really, really good. She's really, really good for catastrophes, but our problem is that there are no catastrophes that are good. So, on one hand, I would probably put her maybe at the bottom of the trash, but on the other hand, she is pretty good. Like, if you watch the World Tournament, she had a team where she won. So, she's in trash. She has the potential to go up a lot in the future, depending on if they buff catastrophes or they make usable catastrophes. But right now, she's trash. Next, we have Galland. Galland was the worst one by far on release, just because they released this unit LR and they didn't even give Galland a relic. So it was kind of like, this unit does nothing. The only niche use I know of this Galland is that he can sometimes be used on Ratatoskr, but he's not a good unit. He's not good for demons. He's never really been used. So that's why he's almost at the bottom of trash. Next, we have our LV Meliodas, our first festival and our first LR. He is a different one because he has nostalgia purposes for me because he was the first really broken unit in the game. But he's just really not that good. He's like a CC Link. He doesn't really have a team that he's good on. The only thing that I know that he's usable on, and I like to use him on, I use him on Crimson Demons, because on Crimson Demons, you can rank up with the Summer Diane, and he'll one-shot, and he can potentially get his ult and make the phases easy. Other than that, though, he's just not that good. His stats are bad. He doesn't really do anything. And poor Melly is trash. And the pinnacle of trash, the absolute worst unit, that is LR, is this Escanor. I will say, unlike the other LRs, he did have quite a bit of time where he was good in PvP. There was a lot of chaos matches that people just ran this Escanor and he just started smacking. But now this Escanor, at this point, doesn't do anything. You have to build teams around him, humans, and even if you build humans around him, he doesn't do any damage to kill anything, and he just dies. So that is why this poor Escanor is the bottom of trash. Until they give him some major buffs, he is the pinnacle of all trash. So guys, if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. I do have my Discord in the video too, so you're more than welcome to check out my Discord. Peace out.